When you type reflash on YouTube, inevitably you will get this guy, the Australian dude who says he's the Autoexpert John Cadogan, with 1,000,001 views apparently, but surprisingly, the comments are turned off. I viewed this video way back, and the comments were on, and they were brutal, savage, and nasty, because obviously this is another guy who does not know what he's talking about. So I'm gonna go through his video and comment on it and give you my thoughts and why he's actually wrong. It's a bit hard, and well, it's Australian, so best to turn on the closed captions.
Your engine control ECU. Plenty of people take this plunge, and often enough, it ends in tears.
He says that it ends in tears. No, it's not, and it's not plenty of people, but let me quantify that a little bit more later on.
New car buyers save thousands off their next new cars. Hit me up on the website for that. Plenty of website up-hitters, especially up-hitters of the SUV and ute persuasion. They're already planning that all-important ECU upgrade.
The website he's talking about here are the multiples of websites that will sell you a tuned file. Very simple. Let's just go to Google right now and type remap for, say, Volkswagen Amarok, actually. Volkswagen Amarok. You'll have YouTube videos, and then you have some guy called celtictuning.co.uk, onlyrevo.com, puretuning.com, pdpperformance.com, dieseltuningaustralia.com, quantumtuning.co.uk, AMD, it's so on and so forth. So if you just type, say, remap for your car, you will come up with a list of these websites that will sell you a tuned file. Like everything on the internet, take everything with a grain of salt, and the way that it kind of works is, well, it's still mostly a trust-based issue thing, meaning that, say, you go to Amazon or to eBay, you look at the ratings and you look at the reviews. So, of course, nobody will have a 100% pure okay review. That's just the nature of the business. There will be cars that they buy that file from and it doesn't work for one reason or the other, but big chances is that there's something inherently wrong with the car either. Anyway, going back to John Cadogan.
And they don't even own the vehicle yet. And if that is you, to you I would say emphatically, buy a vehicle that's adequate to your requirements straight out of the blocks.
This guy is basically saying now that the entire aftermarket industry is BS and all. If there is really a vehicle that's adequate to all your needs, then hallelujah, let there be one. But the fact is there is none. That is why the whole entire car tuning aftermarket, and it's not just engine, it's from wheels to that roof rack that you have, to that camper, to the bed liner. It's a billions of dollar industry. So he's telling you that all of these companies suck because they are not provided by the dealer themselves and are not original equipment.
Remapping your engine, it sounds great. Just a few taps on the keyboard, more kilowatts and more newton meters, plus better economy, better emissions, twice the chocolatey goodness, half the calories, plus it prevents diabetes. Yes!
Yes, he's right. Actually, all of that part he's right, but he's just being sarcastic about it.
But it doesn't always work out that way, sadly. Certainly, it did not work out well recently for this guy. My Volkswagen Amarok failed. The dealership stated there was an oil leak that clogged the DPF, which fouled the turbo. When I asked for a diagnostic, they claimed it was because the ECU was remapped, so therefore it is my fault. The company who remapped the engine are putting it back on Volkswagen. So basically, I have a 4-year-old $60,000 paperweight.
First of all, diagnosing a car based on one paragraph is plainly stupid. He based everything on that one single paragraph which says nothing about the car's condition. First and foremost, very simple. It's a 4-year-old car. What mileage is this Volkswagen Amarok? If it's 100,000+ kilometers, then definitely there will be some oil leak somewhere, stock, remapped or not. The turbo might be failing also and it clogged the DPF. So what? You can always replace the turbo itself, it's not $60,000. You don't have to buy a new Amarok. You can clean the DPF actually. It's not a problem. And first and foremost, which Volkswagen dealership did he talk to? What exactly was the diagnostic when she said, I asked for a diagnostic? So, I said that the vehicle's remap, it's your fault. Yes, great, granted, but what is the diagnostic? You don't know. Who did the remap? Don't know either. There are too many things that are unanswered for this guy to give an emphatic remapping is the fault.
I know at times I must seem like a substantially flippant sociopath with a heart of stone, but the truth is I really hate giving good people the bad news, especially when the bad news is a repair bill that comes with a healthy 5-figure sum.
First and foremost, the repair bill is not 5 figures. $60,000 is the price of your Volkswagen Amarok. Nowhere in that one paragraph states how much the repair bill is. Stick to the facts.
When your engine blows up, an aftermarket engine control ECU is a...
Again, he's wrong. The engine did not blow up. The DPF is clogged. There's an oil leak and then the DPF is clogged. The engine is running fine. He was able to bring it to the dealership. And I'm sure he pulled it out of that dealership either. Oh no, wrong again.
Great deal for the car maker because it essentially allows them to sidestep any accountability for engine or powertrain failures.
No, that is not correct also, especially with Volkswagens. The dealership can put the stop program back. It is well within their capability. You just ask for there is a certain fee. Here locally, Ford does it for $5,000. I've done it. So all that guy has to do is say, okay, it's been remapped, it's my fault. Great, can you put it back to stock? Sure. How much is it? 100 Aussie. There you go. Oil leak is still there. Putting it back to stock will not stop the oil leak. And once again, we don't know where this leak was coming from.
And then there's the ECU Hacking Backyard. Do you suppose the guy selling you some aftermarket chip over the counter of an industrial unit in West Analsex has a test track and a couple of engine dynos running flat out doing extreme accelerated life component testing on all the makes and models that he offers reflashing for? Do you think he bothers to establish emissions compliance? And does he appear to have a budget to compensate you for a catastrophic engine failure?
This part is somewhat right. If it is that backyard guy from West Analsex that does not have a dyno, that is just some dude with a laptop doing the remap, and yes, no, yes, he's correct. These people, especially here in the Philippines, the guys who remap you for really cheap, as in they just put the laptop, plug it in, type a few keys, send the file to Thailand, Malaysia, or whoever. File comes back and then you email it. Of course, they don't have any testing. They definitely don't have any dyno testing. They will not tell you, cannot tell you how much horsepower you have, cannot tell how much torque you have. All they will do is pull out some BS butt figure that, oh, this tune I will give you is 50 horses more and that's it. And when people ask about will it pass emissions, of course it'll pass emissions. Well, then again, here in the Philippines, everybody passes emissions, so that's not much of a problem.
I urge you to think about this beyond just the vague claims on some Elcheapo website.
There you go. Elcheapo website, but sadly, websites now are so easy to make. You can go to Squarespace for that and you have a professional looking website for cheap subscription of $10 a month. So, yeah.
These malignant keyboard jockeys can certainly overfuel an engine at wide open throttle and derive more power. They could lean it out at part throttle and push the NOx through the roof, but also save you a little fuel. But there's no such thing as a free lunch here. You cannot do this without compromising reliability and/or emissions.
You actually can, and we are not pushing, well, as per se, we are not pushing fuel through the roof. The other cheap remappers are. That's what they do. When you see a smoky diesel that on any speed, any RPM, just spurts out smoke, they're adjusting one thing and one thing only. They're just throwing a lot of fuel by adjusting the rail pressure, and then that's it. Now that is a horrible way to remap. Yes, you will gain power, but once again, it's really horrible. And that no way will it save fuel because you're dumping fuel immediately at 1,500 RPM all the way up to 7,000 RPM, 4,000 RPM. So no, that obviously is not correct. And what we do here is we have the car dyno. We actually get to see how much smoke comes out. The customer gets to see it too. And then we get a corresponding power reading. So then there goes the back and forth. We ask the customer, are you happy with this amount of smoke? He'll say, yes, okay, I'm happy. What's the power? I'll say, 200 horses. Can we have more? They'll say, yeah, maybe a little bit more, maybe 220, but it's going to be a lot more smoking than that. So it's up to him to say yes or no. Will it damage anything? No. And here's the thing. The smokiness that happens on diesel cars, when we tune it, that only happens on full throttle. Part throttle, there's almost no smoke and it's pretty much stock. We have had also, I personally have not done it yet because it's not up for registration yet, but when the time comes, I will have my own Montero brought to our very, very ancient and very, very poorly standard emissions testing center, and I will post the emission testing result when I do get it to show you guys that it passes emissions.
It's easy to pump up the power and shred sixth gear if you're pulling a heavy trailer up a shallow incline at, I don't know, 80 k's an hour on the freeway. That's going to be a real memorable day out with the boat, I'd say.
Pulling sixth gear, and then you're pulling a trailer. What are you? You cannot do that from a standstill. You're most likely cruising already. And no, you're not gonna shred sixth gear if you're on a freeway, say doing 80 and 2,000, and then you step on it. The transmission will automatically downshift to either fourth gear or third gear. So much for being an auto expert. Doesn't even know how the automatic transmission works.
Suggest. The manufacturer here has every right to decline your warranty claim.
No, it's a 4-year-old car. There is no warranty anymore.
In these circumstances. To slam the door in your face and opine that you brought this upon yourself, idiot, because essentially you did. And you can bet the rechipper who charged you a princely sum to rechip your formerly functional machine will not compensate you without a fight either.
Well, here's the thing. Once again, we have no information on this one. It's a 4-year-old Amarok. When did he get it rechipped? Did he get rechipped it the first year, second year, third year? Did he get rechipped or remapped last week, last month? We don't know. And like I said, on a 4-year-old diesel car, there will be some leaks no matter who makes it. Volkswagen, Toyota, or otherwise. There will be some leak of some sort. Your DPF will be clogged if it has never done a regen cycle. And it's 4 years worth of use. Diesels are dirty. Something will get clogged. It will get dirty. Who knows? Maybe in the first year he's done 0 kinds of maintenance. We also don't know.
You'll be hiring a lawyer and retaining expert witnesses for multi-page forensic reports. And
this part's true.
Arena gets expensive real fast. You'll end up paying almost as much in legal and associated costs as the repair bill itself. And
or maybe the car.
In court, you might actually lose.
Yep.
Even if you win, you'll be out of pocket. And that's even if you win and you make a successful application for costs. Because the only people who actually win in a courtroom are the lawyers.
Well, that's very true.
Christmas, which I hate because it's also my birthday, the one thing I share with the good Lord Jesus. At this melancholy time of the year, one does reflect on the issues that really matter. Do I earn sufficient death threats still? Or am I losing my touch? Will my stockings be stuffed once again with opprobrium?
Well, isn't that why you turned off your comments?
Is my jihad pushing back hard against the tsunami of bullshit which threatens to overwhelm us? Who will win? When I reflect thusly, whatever, I note rather a lot of last-ditch desperation style engine failure emails from balls-in-a-vice car owners sufficiently desperate to reach out to a man like me. And trust me, that's desperate.
Well, yeah, that's kind of true. If you face this on YouTube and then you claim that so-and-so is evil, and then of course, people will reach out to you hoping that you have a solution for them, but sadly you don't. And like you said earlier in the video, I hate to be a sick sociopath, to be the bearer of bad news, but that's all you're gonna do. You can give them, it's all your fault, you put it upon yourself for being an idiot.
From the Department of Self-Destructo Engines over the past 12 months emerged into my inbox just like the baby Jesus, only minus the wise men and the virgin birth, of course, almost a year ago today. I bought a Ford Ranger 2012 brand new. It's 10 months out of warranty. It's been serviced on time at the dealer. The car has a chip on it and the dealer said Ford won't provide assistance because of that chip. The chip was recommended to me by the Ford salesman and I was told it would not void the warranty. The salesperson's dad sells them through his own business.
Okay, this is this has a little bit more information than the first one, the Emerald. Okay, so the 2010. Wow, this was a long time ago. This video was December 2017, and this guy's a 2012 brand new, 10 months out of warranty. Okay, great, fine. Okay, so 10 months out of warranty, 3 years. That's a long ass warranty. 6 years. Okay, assuming that Ford gave him a 5-year warranty, so basically it's out of warranty now. The chip on it provides assistance because of that chip. Okay, first things foremost, what assistance is he looking for? Servicing assistance? Tire assistance? It's not specified. And here's the problem with these people, especially this guy. He lumps reflash, rechip, remap all into one. I personally never use the word rechip because that is not what is happening. You are not changing the physical chip on an ECU. So here's the next question. Most likely, it's a chip that's recommended by a Ford salesperson that sells. It's probably one of these things. Probably it's either a DP chip or a race chip or any of these plug-in chip things that go into the engine bay and just basically plug it into the fuel rail. And it's a plug-and-play thing. You don't want Ford to know about it. You take it out and put it in your drawer. What's the problem? So once again, there's not a lot of information here, and it's already out of warranty. What more do you want? And he only had this problem outside of the warranty period? That sounds kind of dubious.
I actually went a fair way down the track investigating this. I
See how much, that's exactly what he investigated.
Negative journalist's spandex jumpsuit. Yes. Interesting look, but it certainly felt good. I established the name of the salesperson here. I established that his father did at the time own an aftermarket business selling ECU, alleged upgrades, as a sideline. There was corroborating chatter online in relation to that. In forums, I read the vague guarantees from the Remapper's website. I checked the dealership for official endorsement of the product. Nothing.
Oh, definitely. No dealer will ever endorse anything like this. Come on, let's just be honest about it. As in absolutely nothing. No dealer in the world will do this. Except for a very, very few ones. I say just official dealers, say Callaway Cars for Corvettes. Celine for Fords. Roush also for Fords. But generally, things like this, things that we do, no dealer in the world will ever endorse this. And then if you read the fine print when you do buy a car, any modification to the car voids the warranty. So meaning that all you dudes out there which have the big wheels, big tires, 17-inch wheels, mags or everything, consider your warranty 100% voided on principle.
Enough. I had a look at the $15,128 repair bill and the photos of the engine in disrepair, various other correspondence as well, and I am not alleging the fundamental truth of the owner's allegations. All I can say is, in this respect, over this incident, I did not sniff any bullshit. I formed the view it is, at best, morally repugnant for a salesman at a dealership to solicit customers for Dad's ECU upgrade bill.
So just to establish a timeline here, it has a catastrophic engine problem 10 months after warranty on a 5+6-year-old car. And at that time, he bought a chip which does not void the warranty because it is plug and play. So we're assuming at that time he bought it sometime during warranty period. So let's assume for safe it's at that time 3 years ago was going to be safe. So he's been running with that same chip for 3 years, and then engine catastrophe occurs. And here's the funny part. It has been serviced in Ford since 2012 every year. Then he bought a chip. So which is it really? Ford serviced it with the race chip or DP chip installed and said nothing? And it's been running well all the time? And in that 10 months afterwards, it has not been serviced in the dealership. A lot could happen in 10 months. He might have flooded it. The diesel petrol station might have water in the gas tank. Who knows? 10 months is a long time, and a lot of things can happen in 10 months. And to blame it on a chip that you bought 3 years ago and it has run well while it was being serviced by Ford, and suddenly it's out of warranty, suddenly it disintegrates? No, that is not possible.
Business, and to purport warranty compliance, which is flat out untrue.
Yes, it is warranty compliance because, well, once again, I'm working on the assumption that it is one of these plug-in chips. You unplug it, the thing goes back to stock. That's it, end of story. That's the whole point about plug-and-play systems. It is no different than, say, you buying an aftermarket head unit for your car. You plug it in, it stops working. You take it out, you plug back the stock system, and it works fine again.
That's epic misconduct, even for a car salesman. And I simply formed the view that the poor bastard with the blown-up Ranger engine seemed to be telling me the truth.
Nope, the poor bastard with the blown-up Ranger engine is not telling you the whole truth.
So I contacted Ford. I reached out on the 4th of November last year to Wes Sherwood, the then big cheese of external communications at Ford Australia. I laid it all out in great detail and in writing in the hope that those tools at Ford would intervene and do the right thing. Optimal result, I thought, out there in the real world, one guy's $15,000 pre-Christmas frown might suddenly go upside down. A small victory for journalism, perhaps. Mr. Sherwood got back to me the very same day, and I thought, this actually looks promising. Hi, John. Thank you for giving us the chance to look into this matter. We will investigate and come back to you by early next week. Wes. And guess what? It's been 13 months.
Well, what do you expect? It's a car company.
Still deafening silence. This was the camel's back-breaking straw that convinced me that Ford was absolutely not of merchantable quality here in Australia.
Hello, it's not just Ford, it's every car company. For a guy who's an auto expert, he sure does not know much about how the auto industry works.
Suggest that a company with a functioning moral compass would have gone on a witch hunt at this point. A dealer's franchise agreement would have been leveraged against a significant pull-through from high on up.
Nope, it does not work that way. At the most, the dealership would fire the salesperson. But then again, like I said, I'm 1000% sure he did not buy the DB or race chip and then the engine blew up. That simply does not happen. And chances are the salesperson doesn't work at that Ford no more. And it states it there very plainly. It is out of warranty. Ford has no obligation to service your car outside warranty. Not for free.
Subject to verifying the truth of the allegations, of course. But I'm certain there's a bringing the brand into disrepute termination clause in most car dealers' contracts, and that would have been an appropriate lever.
Nope, it's not. It's the fault of one person. You do not blame the entire dealership because of that one guy. And like I said, the most you can do is fire the guy, and chances are the guy's not there no more. Or the Ford may have fired that, the dealers may fire that dude immediately after selling the chip. Who knows? Once again, you don't know.
Subsequently, if I had received a phone call from Ford, and if the facts had been corroborated by the owner of the Ranger, with his balls suddenly released from the $15,000 vice...
No, his balls will not be released from the $15,000 vice.
We're fixing this, and we're taking steps to ensure that this kind of malfeasance never happens again. I would have gone, okay, nice one. I won't report it. Thanks for letting me know.
And you reporting really hurt Ford, Australia. Yeah, right.
There are plenty of PR operatives in the car industry in Australia, and I have done this thing with them in the past, but not with the brands that I advise you to steer clear of. So my strong advice to you is buy a vehicle that performs as you require it in its standard configuration, the engine, the handling, whatever. Do not step across the line and open Pandora's box by remapping the engine control ECU, unless of course you want to wave goodbye to essentially all salient consumer safeguards. You have to ask yourself, in the case of the Ranger, is there really a problem that 470 Newton meters of standard Ford Ranger engine cannot solve?
If that 470 Newton meters occurs at 3,500 RPM, no, it cannot. His example was towing a boat. You need a lot of torque at the low RPM, which the standard Ranger does not give. The torque peak of a standardly tuned Ranger is anywhere from 2,800 to 3,500 RPM. You tow a boat at 1,000 RPM, so you really have to floor it, and then you have to floor it pretty deep. Then it suddenly shoots off. So no, 470 Newton meters does not solve it because it is not at the RPM that you want.
And if there is, why don't you just man up and buy a Land Cruiser? Remapping the ECU.
Because the poor sod can only afford a Ranger. Not everybody can afford a Land Cruiser, you d***. And if that's the case, we'd all be driving Porsche Cayennes right now, if that's your solution to everything. And if that's the thing, why do manufacturers have cars for different price points and for different uses, for different horsepower? Why not somebody magically makes a one-size-fit-all car, as you so say? Because it is impossible.
ECU is an invitation to disaster and certainly not worth the risk.
Once again, if it is from any of these people who are what we call just laptop tuners who don't tune, don't have a dyno, yes, you stay away from these people. Very clear. If you buy a file from the internet and you think you want to go tune the car yourself, go ahead also. It's all on your risk, and basically it boils down to the old adage of you get what you pay for. Which, by the way, in all of these correspondence that he's been saying, never is there once mentioned how much do these people pay for these things. Because this guy basically just shitted on the entire Australian off-road community.
Nathan, the guy with the Ranger above, and Shannon, the bloke with the Amarok earlier, they're ultimately going to pay something like $15,000 a piece to rechip their engine. And that seems like a pretty poor return on investment to me.
No, it's $15,000 to fix whatever's wrong with the engine mechanically, not just to rechip it, you dumb shit. Guy can't even get his facts and stories in Cuento straight. He jumps from one fact to the other. And the $15,000 was from the Nathan guy, not the Shannon guy. The Shannon guy never said anything on how much it is. He's just assuming it. He doesn't even know what's wrong with it per se. Aside from the fact that there's an oil leak and then the TPF is clogged. Both of which are definitely not $15,000.
Me. I'm John Cadogan. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.
I'm John Cadogan, and I am a dumb fuck. And please do not listen to me. And don't comment on my video. Oh, by the way, comments are turned off already. It is people like this on YouTube with 1 million views, and people think that it's credible. That is just sad and effed up. I have no words. I saw this video years ago, I laughed, and then now I see it again. I'm just exasperated at why people still watch this garbage and watch this stupidity and take this as gospel truth. So to you, John Cadogan, F you.